Hello, gorgeous souls. How are you today? So it is podcast episode 6. How are we doing? Today, I want to talk to you about how to manifest your dream home, because in the last week, we have moved house into the most amazing home. It is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to share more with you on socials. When it's all sorted and set up and the boxes are unpacked, I'm not going to lie, I am tired. So tired. I'm hoping this microphone is working. So if and when you are jumping on and joining me live on Facebook, please do let me know that sound is okay. I'm going live from the car today because we haven't got Wi-Fi until the 18th of March. The 18th, which is about a year away. So I've driven out into the sticks. We're in the middle of nowhere and it's nice and quiet. And there's 5G signal, full bars here. It's wonderful. So yeah, I can show you the view from, obviously if you're on the Facebook video, or if you're watching on YouTube, obviously you can see the view. Literally, there's nothing around me here. And my car is absolutely full of stuff. So this is charity shop stuff in some of the bags at the front. And then I've got just stuff for the tip. And potentially, I'm going to try and see if the dog charity will want this dog bed. So yeah, so car full of stuff. A podcast to do, no Wi-Fi signal, but we're here to do the things. And when I sat down today, I thought, right, it feels like I haven't been on socials or commented or made a post or done anything in about a week. And I looked and it's been about 6 days and it feels like so long. And I don't like being this disengaged from my business. I really don't. I love creating content. It's like part of who I am. It's just part of what I'm here to do. And so I very much missed it. So this week's podcast, I've been very much looking forward to, even though we're in the car. So if you're listening on the podcast platform, hello, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me on hello@louiseblood.co.uk. If you're watching on YouTube, exactly the same. You can dive into the comments section. If you've got any questions about anything from today's episode, then like I said, just reach out to me. Let me know your comments. Let me know your questions if you have any. So the reason I wanted to talk about how to manifest your dream home today on the podcast is because on reflection, I've just sat in our new kitchen and I took a moment just to take in my surroundings, and I thought, I have manifested multiple houses, like loads of different properties and homes, and especially so as a single mum with 3 kids. And I feel like when I think about like the places that I've lived, the houses that I've manifested, hey Dawn, it doesn't make logical sense. But then in the world of manifestation, it doesn't make logical sense. If you are going to manifest miracles and you are going to manifest in the way that doesn't make sense to most people, then welcome to my world. We're going to have a lot of fun. For me, that's what it's all about, is manifesting things that don't make sense, but ultimately what you want. And you will manifest things in ways that you couldn't have made happen if you tried. And today what I want to take you into are the 3 things that are really going to help you when it comes to manifesting your dream home. Now, when I went to go live, it was 14:44 on my phone when I found this spot. So I was like, thank you, angels, universe. And I've now got 44% battery in my phone. So we'll work through this quickly. So since becoming a single parent, and this was back in 2014, so it's a while ago now, and I was a single mum for a long time, I reflected on the places that I've lived and the fact that I've lived with no limits. And I thought to myself, what are the 3 things, when it comes to manifesting the different homes that I've lived in, what are the 3 things that have really been the key elements to me being able to manifest these homes? And it's these 3 things that I want to share with you on today's podcast, because they're a game changer. And I've written them down on my notepad because I thought if I don't, I'll get so distracted with all the stuff that's in this car that I'll forget what I want to share with you. So in my kitchen earlier, I sat down and I wrote down, okay, what are the 3 things? And I think the story that I want to sort of briefly share, because I don't want this to be a really long episode today, I want you to just come, get what you need, and then off you go and manifest your house. When I left my ex-husband, like many years ago, back in 2014, I wasn't in a good financial position. I'd just started a business and I was probably about 6 months into that business and I wasn't earning a lot of money at that time. And when I left that relationship, I didn't have a home of my own. I was fortunate that I was able to move back in with my parents for a short time into their home with the kids. But money was very tight and I didn't let that stop me from dreaming big. The business that I was running at the time involved like personal development. It involved like creating vision boards. It involved just dreaming bigger outside of like current circumstances. And I owe that business, not owe it anything, but like in terms of what it taught me and how it helped me to really expand and see and create a vision for the future, is paramount to how I've manifested the things that I've manifested in my life. So you can write these things down if you want. Yeah, I'd recommend writing these three things down. They sound very simple, and just because they're simple, it doesn't always mean that it's easy. So these are the 3 things that I would do when it came to me wanting to manifest something, whether it's a house or anything else, but these 3 things were the main points that came through today. Number 1, and this is huge, is take money out of the equation. Take money off its pedestal. Don't even think about money, because we can limit ourselves so much when it comes to money. Because what normally happens is we look at what money we have and then we base on what we have right now as what can I actually realistically make happen on the budget that I have now, or the money that I have now. And a lot of people will take themselves out of the manifesting game by looking at their current circumstances and then saying, well, there's no point me even imagining or dreaming anything else because I can't make it happen with the resources that I've got. Let me know if that is you, because that was me. You know, like I said, was living with my mum and dad. My business at the time wasn't making a lot of money. You know, there was a lot of work for me to do, both personally, professionally in that business, in order for me to like manifest and pay for a house. I didn't let that stop me doing the next 2 things. So I didn't look at my money then and think, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford to get a house. There's no way. We have to remove that out of the way, because that's in the past. And there is always more opportunity to create more, to have more, whether that's money, time, resources, opportunities, whatever. So number 1 is, don't look at your current money situation and limit yourself. I want you to take money out of the equation for a moment. I don't even want you to think about it. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is imagine. Just imagine and see what comes through for you when you think about, like, where would I love to live? What would my dream home look like? Like, I used to visualize, because I used to really struggle with visualization. And again, it used to be because I was very focused on my current reality. So when I sort of let that go and thought, I'm not thinking about like what has happened, I'm not looking at money for the moment, I'm just going to allow myself just to dream. Just because. Like, imagine if. And sometimes you can say, you know, if time and money were no object, imagine if. And I would just close my eyes and I would sit for just 5 minutes, sometimes with a cup of tea, it might be with some music on or in the quiet. And I'd just imagine, and my imagination, what would like come through for me is I would wake up in the morning and I would be in like a white bedroom, but there would be beams that I could see. And I would get up and I would go downstairs. There would be a lovely open plan kitchen. I would make a cup of tea, because I'm a tea drinker in the morning. Please let me know what your choice of beveraging in the morning is, because it says a lot about who you are. I love a Yorkshire cup of tea first thing in the morning. Then I move on to coffee. It has to be tea first. So I'd go downstairs, make a cup of tea. But the kitchen was open plan. I didn't know every detail of the kitchen, But what I could imagine was having like big windows that looked out onto the garden. And there was a big garden that I could like look over. There was a gravel driveway. There was a gate at the front of the property. That's what I could visualise. And this is back in 2014. The end of 2014 to the beginning of 2015. Not much money, living at my mum and dad's. Life and absolutely chaos because, you know, I'd just left the kid's dad. Emotionally, it was hard. But I'd give myself this little window of time just to go, just to put everything down. You know, kids would be in bed or it'd be first thing in the morning and I'd just give myself just 5 minutes. Like, just imagine if. Dawn says latte in the morning vibes. See, I can't have a strong coffee, but if I'm going to have something, it's latte. So how does it feel? Like when you're in your dream home, when you have the visualization, you can see it. And if you close your eyes and you're just like, well, I can't see anything, stop putting pressure on yourself to try and figure it out. Just allow yourself to just see something. And it can be random. Sometimes it doesn't make sense with the visualizations. If you haven't visualized before, it can be quite tricky. Sometimes people find it easy to like write stuff down in a journal. Find what works for you when it comes to just imagining. Allowing your imagination. And I love the Einstein quote, you know, our imagination is a preview to life's coming attractions. It's so true. And then step 3. So we've let go of the money, taken money out of the equation. We've taken some deep breaths and we've allowed ourselves just imagine, to just dream about it. We're then going to let go of the how. This is step 3. And this is the step that pisses most people off because they're just like, yeah, but if I let go of the how the hell is it going to happen? This whole video, Louise, is about how to manifest my dream house. So how do I do it? This is how you do it. You let go of the how. So in my experience, like I said, I would do the visualization work most days. So it's just 5 minutes a day with a cup of tea. Dawn, you can do it with your latte. Get your latte, sit down and just be like, just give yourself that few minutes just to dream because why not? This is the power of your imagination. Money's out the equation, off the table. We're just allowing, we're just dreaming, just enjoying. A bit like Walt Disney. Why not? You know? And then we're not going to obsess over, well, how am I going to make that happen? How much money do I need to have? We're just going to let that go. And what then happens is you have put that desire, or you are putting that desire out to the universe as an energetic desire. And the thing is, with the human brain, it doesn't actually know what's real and what's not. But what it does do is it becomes like an antenna for what it is that you want. And when you start to then make moves that align with what it is that you want, so you work on being your best self, you work on making the moves that align with what you want to create, how you want to feel, and you start to be open to opportunities, to circumstances, to people, to events, to all the things. You stop looking down at what is and you start looking up and around. Steps will will open up for you. And what will happen in time, and the thing is with time, it can be tomorrow or it can be in a few weeks, a few months, a few years. The time is irrelevant. The thing to focus on is living in alignment with how you want to feel. And in my experience, when I've done that and I've just let go of the house, that's just an imagination, a dream, just something nice, is in the future, and I couldn't predict when that was going to happen. Circumstances would change, and the house that I used to visualize back in the day when, I was at my mum and dad's, my kids were sleeping on bunk beds in the same room as me. All our stuff was in bin liners, just surrounding us. I didn't have a lot of money. I was working on my business. It wasn't easy at the time. Emotionally, things were hard. I allowed myself to dream. I let go of what was. And then what happened was, literally less than a year later, I think it was about 9 months later, we moved into a beautiful home in the country. It was lovely. Like a gorgeous detached house, surrounded by acres of land. It got a stable, it got fields, it got an orchard. It was like old school farmhouse vibes. It was in less than a year. And I couldn't have seen that coming at that time had I tried to figure out how I was going to make it happen. And then in years to come, like later after that, I then manifested another house out of another set of circumstances where this house was just perfect. And it was even more in alignment with the visualizations that I used to have back in 2014. You know, that house, when I had to move, was just, it just felt, it literally, I used to say this to my clients, I was like, it literally fell out the sky. Because I started to ask around, like, does anyone know of, you know, any properties to let? You know, I'm looking for a new home. And out of the blue, someone just messaged me and said, there's a house in the village where we live. I've seen you looking for a property. It stood empty. It's not on the market. Do you want me to find out what the person who owns it is doing with it? Because it's been empty for months. And I'd be like, that'd be amazing. Went to look around this house that wasn't on the market. Viewed the property and thought, this is unbelievable. The rent that the woman wanted to charge for the property was like hundreds of pounds more than I could afford at the time. I didn't let that stop me. I offered the landlady at the time like £250 a month less for the property to take it on, and she said yes. And so this is 6 years ago, we moved into what was then our dream home. And we were there for 6 years. And then obviously last week we have now moved again and we've moved into the most beautiful home. And at Christmas time, my son said to me, he said, Mum, he said, you always said that this would happen. You always said that this would happen. And I was like, I know, you know, we don't know when things are going to happen. It's just the power of our imagination. It's your power of your imagination. Giving yourself permission to dream, to visualize, just because, to imagine, to let go of like what's right in front of you, like right now, the circumstances right now, to not be a victim to your circumstances if they're not in alignment with what you want. And then focus on like being your best self now. Like, how do you want to feel? What action aligns with that now? And it's like, rather than manifesting from a place of lack, as in, well, I want this house and it's not here yet, and how am I going to make it happen? It's God, imagine if, allowing that to be like an amazing, like just enjoyable experience, and then taking like action that aligns with like life now, of how you want to feel now. So those three things: take money out of the equation, imagine, see what comes through, enjoy it. How does it feel? Be in the vibes. And then number 3, let go of the how and just make aligned moves now. And what will happen is, without you even realizing it, you will shift your vibration and your frequency from doing this, from working on yourself, from, even if it's like subscribing to my podcast, because I go live every week. I've got a podcast platform that's completely free for you to access. The link's in my bio on Instagram and Facebook. You can access all my content over on YouTube if you want to. So if you're over on there, go to my YouTube channel. Again, the link is in my bio on Instagram or Facebook. If you want to come and work with me, my current offers are in the link in my bio. I'll put the link in the show notes here on my podcast platform and on YouTube as well. But if you want to go deeper into this, especially manifesting, inside of Self-Led, which is my monthly coaching membership, you get access to Manifestation Queen, which is going much further and deeper into all of this manifestation, like the 3 steps going much deeper. You also get the Magnetic Woman Challenge, so you can really like take like aligned action without procrastinating. Like, it's an amazing program. And then also you've got access to Reclamation as well, which is a life-changing masterclass. Like, if you want to reclaim your power, if you feel like you're cycling around in circles, if you feel like you're someone who is overwhelmed, if you feel like you just keep taking a few steps forward and then stopping, a few steps forward, stopping, and you're going backwards, you're cycling self-sabotage, then I cannot recommend getting yourself inside of Self-Led ASAP and watching those programs as soon as possible, because they will change your life. So, do these 3 things. Let go of the outcome. Be like, just work on you daily. Work on the aligned action. Like, for me, aligned action is delivering this podcast from my car, not in the house. From the 18th, I'll be able to go live from the house and I can show you the house. I don't live in my car, as much as it may look like I do at the moment. I don't live in the car. But like, when I reflect on all the things that I've manifested, not just the house, these are some of the steps that it's taken. And especially for the house, these have been the steps. So, write those down, do some dreaming, just, woof, that was a big van. A van just went past, by the way, if you're listening on the podcast. Just allow yourself to dream. Just imagine there's another one coming. See what comes up for you. And like I say, it doesn't always make sense, and the way in which you're going to manifest what it is that you really want won't make sense. And that's the whole point. And for me now, I don't even know what I'm manifesting right now. Because obviously I'm just in a process of just taking in what has been happening and the new house. And I'll be honest, like my head this last week, I've been so tired, but my head has been a bit of a shed this last week because I've packed and unpacked so many boxes. I'm like, ugh. And obviously the car's full, so we're still sorting. And aligned action for me is coming on here and delivering this podcast. That is aligned action for me. Like, I'm going to go to the gym this afternoon. I've got a few other bits that I'm going to do. But yeah, manifesting is just magical. I don't like to manifest things in a logical way. I don't manifest things in a let's work hard and let's hustle and let's make it happen. Like, for me, it's much more powerful than that. And that's the work that I love to do with you, with my clients, is to really help you understand the power that you have within, how to access that, how to become magnetic to your desires and what it is you want, whether that's in your personal life, whether that's professionally, whether that's in your business. It's really tapping into the power that you have within and taking just things so much deeper so that life becomes unrecognizable. The things that you manifest, it's just like, it doesn't make sense. And it's even better than you could have ever imagined or made happen if you tried. So do these three things. If you want to manifest your new home, do this. I keep looking like doing this because it's on my notebook. And I'm excited for you because anything is possible. Anything is truly possible if you are willing to believe it is. Like, you have to become, I would say, slightly delusional. You have to be a little bit different to most people. You have to be willing for people to be like, what on earth? But one day people will just be like, how did you make that happen? You know, how is this possible? This doesn't make sense. And I'm just like, that's the kind of life that I want to live. And if that is you, then welcome to my corner of the internet. Welcome to my world, whether you're listening on the podcast, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whether you decide to jump into one of my offers. This is the vibe. So I'm going to jump off now. I'm going to get myself off to do all the things that I need to do or that I want to do. But if you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, anything that you want to say or share, then please, if you're on Facebook, drop it in the comments. If you're on YouTube, drop it in the description box in the comments. If you're on the podcast platform, I'm not sure if you can leave comments on there. If you can, leave comments. If not, just email me. You can reach out to me if you've got any questions. hello@louiseblood.co.uk. I will just say that if you ever have any questions about anything specific to do with personal development, to do with manifestation, to do with business online, I will always create content to respond to your questions. I love to use my platform as a way to serve. So if you have a question, don't be shy, like, reach out to me. I won't answer it on DM, but I will create a piece of content and I will put it out there. And then if I am able to, I will notify you that that's what I've done, and then you can watch it, and so can the whole world. So there you go. Right, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast platform. If you're over on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm almost at a goal that I want to hit on there. So if you subscribe to there, that would be absolutely amazing. And that is me over and out. So wishing you an amazing rest of your day. And I will see and speak to you for the podcast episode 7 next week. Bye.